Hey guys, it's Brett. Thanks for stopping by my channel. So today I have quite a large book haul. I don't know suddenly why I've amassed so many books again, but clearly I think that, there's going to be a shortage of printing paper or something. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about really quick was, for those of you who noticed, great, and for those of you who didn't notice, this won't mean much to you. But so I had started this thing on my page called the Tuesday Laydown, which I had done for 3 weeks, and I thought was a really cool idea and a way for me to share new books with a lot of you. But here's the thing. I work in, for those of you who don't know, and probably that's a lot of you, my job is I am a casting director in television. So having worked in TV for so many years, and in that a large portion of those years was doing network television, which lives and dies by a rating system, and how your overnight ratings are. I grew very conditioned to watch that every week to see how my shows were doing and if in fact I'd have a job. So, obviously there's no rating system on YouTube except to see how your viewings are going on any particular vlog. And so I just started to notice, this is a very long and convoluted way to tell you all, I've just started to notice that it was dipping precipitously week to week, that less people were tuning in. I don't know if some people wouldn't tune in because they saw the Laydown Diaries and thought it was just me laying down and reading my diaries. Or if the content just wasn't interesting to people. But for whatever reason, for those of you who did watch the 3, I appreciate it. But and it's something I feel like I maybe could bring back someday. But for right now, it just was having diminishing returns. And so I thought, well, I'm going to nix this. So moving on, hopefully more people will watch me talk about my book addiction and how I can't stop buying books. All right, so I have around 10 books to talk about today that I pulled. But first, I do, because I did miss this talking about every week what I'm reading. And so I will say, I'm going away this weekend. It is parents' weekend at my son's college. So this is the first time I'm going to see him in over 8 weeks. To say I'm excited is an understatement. But I'm flying all the way across the country to Ohio. So I'm going to have time at the airport and on the plane. So I'm packing Demon Copperhead. I finally got it right. Which I cannot wait to read this. This big, fat tome. Her updating of David Copperfield set in the Appalachian Mountains and dealing with the opiate crisis in the country. So really excited about this. I don't know if any of you have read this yet. This will be hitting shelves on October 18th, but can't wait to get started. All right, so the first book I wanted to talk about was actually my Book of the Month Club pick this month, this is the weird thing. Do you ever have that moment when, for example, you say, I've never, have someone says to you, oh, I got a Prius, and you're like, oh, I never have seen a Prius, and they say, come outside and see my Prius. So you see that Prius, and then suddenly you see Priuses everywhere. Well, it's happening in a literary vein to me in 2 different ways. One has been all of the stuff that's come out with Ian Forster, as many of you know. I've been reading all these random books that have come out this year and some previous years regarding or surrounding Ian Forster, like The Policeman that's about to be released. But anyway, the same thing is all of a sudden happening with Jackie Kennedy. Earlier this year, Louis Bayard came out with this Jackie and Me, which is a story about how Jackie met Jack Kennedy. But it's told through the eyes of one of Jack Kennedy's best friends, Lem. And so, anyway, I have not read this yet. I got it right away because Stephen Rowley, who wrote The Guncle, and as well as Lucy and the Octopus, he and The Editor, which was also another book. The Editor was by Stephen Rowley. was another book about that involved Jackie, which was when she spent her stint as an editor and about a young man who's writing a novel and she becomes his editor. But anyway, so with that in mind, it's a very long intro to basically say Jacqueline in Paris by Ann Mah. This centers on when she is Jacqueline Bouvier and is a student and spends, I think it's a semester or a year abroad, junior year abroad in Paris and what happens. So I love all things Paris. I'm a big Francophile. And so I'm excited to read this. So there's that. My intro was longer than the book itself. Or I should say longer than my explanation of the book itself. So there you go. All right, next up, let me see what I'm going to share with you. This is like Christmas. The Sleeping Car Porter by Suzette Mayr. This is one of the books that is shortlisted for the Giller Prize in Canada. So I'm going to read you this very quickly. In 1929, and Baxter is considered lucky as a black man to have a job as a sleeping car porter on a train that crisscrosses the continent. He has to smile for the white passengers, not too much and not too little, and when they call him George, he just has to nod and act invisible. Meanwhile, he's obsessed with teeth and saving up enough nickel and dime tips to pay for dentistry school. But on this particular trip west, the passengers are more unruly than usual, especially when the train is stranded for days in the mountains. The passengers' secrets start to leak out and blur with the sleep deprivation hallucinations Baxter's having. And then, when he finds an illicit postcard of two men, Baxter's memories and longings are reawakened. Keeping the postcard puts his job at peril, but he can't part with it or his thoughts of a certain Edwin Drew, porter instructor. The Sleeping Car Porter brings to life a long-neglected part of black and queer histories through the spellbinding, magical story of the singular and unforgettable Baxter. That is The Sleeping Car Porter. Sounds really good. I love this cover. Beautiful. All right, the next is the third in the Thursday Murder Club mysteries. Richard Osman's The Bullet That Missed. As I said earlier, I have not even started the first, and I have all of these. These are the Goldsboro editions. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful inside boards, as well as being signed by the author. I am trying to rectify that. I plan to, when I get back next week, to start the first one. But I know so many people that have just loved all of these. So if I hate them, then, I will sell them on eBay or something. But I'm expecting to like them. All right, next up, beautiful cover, Natalie Haynes, Stone Blind. Natalie Haynes was shortlisted, I think last year or the year before, for the Women's Prize for Fiction. I said shortlisted, right? Shortlisted for 1,000 Ships. This is clearly, it says Medusa's story. First of all, again, this is the Waterstones edition. I think it's just so beautiful. Also signed, just gorgeous. But let me read you how great this sounds. So to mortal men, we are monsters. Because of our flight, our strength, they fear us. So they call us monsters. Medusa is the sole mortal in a family of gods. Growing up with her Gorgon sisters, she begins to realize that she's the only one who experiences change, the only one who can be hurt. And her mortal lifespan gives her an urgency that her family will never know. When the sea god Poseidon commits an unforgivable act in the temple of Athena, the goddess takes her revenge where she can, and Medusa is changed forever. Writhing snakes replace her hair, and her gaze now turns any living creature to stone. The power cannot be controlled. Medusa can look at nothing without destroying it. She is condemned to a life of shadows and darkness, until Perseus embarks upon a quest to fetch the head of a Gorgon. Ooh! I think it sounds amazing. This is going to totally jump in on my October TBR. I'm justifying it by saying she was a monster. She was a monster. and it's appropriate for spooky season. But I think this sounds great. If you're in the UK near Waterstones, I would pick this edition up. It's so beautiful. All right, my next book I got was Jann Wenner's Like a Rolling Stone. I don't think I really need to give him much introduction. Jann Wenner, of course, was the editor of Rolling Stone. He, in the book, talks about so many of the great rock icons, the Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, as well as literary people like Hunter S. Thompson. It's all about his, clearly about the influence he had, especially with music, but also his personal life as well. So, like any good biography would do. So there you go. Then I got Lev Rosen's Lavender House. Lev A.C. Rosen, a few years ago wrote a book called Camp, a young adult book that is currently being made into a movie that Billy Porter is directing. But this is about a family who owns a soap business company, and the matriarch mysteriously dies. So a man goes to investigate the murder and, the suspicious circumstances surrounding her death. And it's been pitched as a queer version of Knives Out. I think it's going to be a little bit of a locked room mystery, as someone in the house is a killer in the Lavender House. So there you go. Okay, so my next book is a backlist title called The Truth About the Harry Kubert Affair by Joel Dicker. Joel Dicker came to my attention because he has a book out that just came out called The Enigma of Room 622, which looks really interesting. I'm showing it somewhere right now. And it's a great cover. However, I just think it's one of those things like, I'd like to read that someday when I get to it. And so in the meantime, I found this on Pango because this is what he's really known for. And this is the thing that really brought him into got him a lot of attention. For those of you who don't know it, I'd like to read the synopsis of it. August 30th, 1975, the day 15-year-old Nola Kellergan is glimpsed fleeing through the woods, never to be heard from again. The day Somerset, New Hampshire, lost its innocence. 33 years later, Marcus Goldman, a successful young novelist, visits Somerset to see his mentor, Harry Kubert, one of the country's most respected writers, and to find a cure for his writer's block as his publisher's deadline looms. But Marcus's plans are violently upended when Harry is suddenly and sensationally implicated in the cold case murder of Nola Kellergan, whom, he admits, he had an affair with. As the national media convicts Harry, Marcus launches his own investigation, following a trail of clues through his mentor's books, the backwoods and isolated beaches of New Hampshire, and the hidden history of Somerset's citizens and the man they hold most dear. To save Harry, his own writing career, and eventually even himself, Marcus must answer 3 questions, all of which are mysteriously connected. Who killed Nora Kellergan? What happened one misty morning at Somerset in the summer of 1975? And how do you write a book to save someone's life? I think it sounds so good. I'd love to know if any of you read this, but totally intrigued. Okay, I don't think this much needs a lot of introduction. Lessons by Ian McEwan. This cover makes me want to go right now and have a bowl of sherbet. But for those of you who haven't heard anything about this, when the world is still counting the cost of the Second World War and the Iron Curtain has descended, young Roland Bain's life is turned upside down. He is 2,000 miles from his mother's protective love, stranded in an unusual boarding school when his vulnerability attracts his piano teacher, Miriam Cornell, leaving scars as well as a memory of love that will never fade. 25 years later, Roland's wife mysteriously vanishes and he finds himself alone with their baby son. So basically, this is this man's life over the years with a variety of cultural and historical events that happen at the same time. To be honest, I've heard very mixed things about this. I've heard some people say, oh my God, it's brilliant, and other people say it's completely annoying. But I am totally curious to find out for myself. The other book that's everywhere right now that doesn't need a lot of introduction, Celeste Ng's Our Missing Hearts. This is about a decree that has come down to make America more American by relocating Chinese dissidents in this country. And one woman's goals to protect her son. So I've heard nothing but great things about this from everybody who's read it. I'm a big fan of Little Fires Everywhere, so I'm really, really excited about this one. This last one I don't know virtually anything about, except for the fact that I was in Barnes & Noble. It was their pick of the month, and I thought it was a cool cover, called The Night Ship by Jess Kidd, based on a real-life event, an epic historical novel from the award-winning author Jess Kidd. One shipwreck, two misfits, 3 centuries apart. 1629, a newly orphaned girl named Macon is bound for the Dutch East Indies on the Batavia, one of the greatest ships of the Dutch Golden Age. Curious and mischievous, Macon spends a long journey going on misadventures above and below the deck, searching for a mythical monster, but the true monsters might be closer than she thinks. In 1989, a lonely boy named Gil, who after the death of his mother is sent to live with his grandfather, a taciturn fisherman off the coast of Western Australia, among the members of the seasonal fishing community where his late mother once lived. There, on the tiny reef-shrouded island, he discovers the story of an infamous shipwreck. With her trademark storytelling that has been praised as thrilling, mysterious, twisted, but more than anything beautifully written, Jess Kidd weaves a charming and unputdownable tale of friendship and sacrifice, brutality, and forgiveness. Pretty spine. All right, pretty end. So that's The Night Ship. So there you have it. That was about 10 books that I got in this haul. So I, per usual, probably get to most of these in 8 months, and so we'll let you know what I think of them. Let me know if you read any of these, if you plan to read any of these, what kind of interests you. I mean, come on, the Medusa book sounds really good though, doesn't it? All right, I hope you all have a good day wherever you are, or have had a good day if it's the end of your day. Thanks for coming by again. If you like what you've seen, please like and subscribe, and I will see you all soon.